What's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the Big Podcast Show. Holla at a player.
It's the Potsy and Tino Show. Talk the facts and let opinions flow. Laughs, hot takes, and maybe a rant. Two best buds with the mic and a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song, as always, used to be brought to you by Adam's House Cat. It's called The Wrestling Song. It's available for 99 cents. We'll tell you that again later in the show. Now, obviously, we have that cool little jingle that's just made for us. And Tino, we always like to start the show up with a little segment called... No, it's called What's Up With You.
What's up with you?
So...
Not a whole lot. Like I said, still getting back in the swing of things, finally getting caught up with work. I think, was it last week? Was my birthday last week or the week before? My dates are running together. That's how bad.
The 15th.
Yeah, that was
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So so the only thing that really is really up with me is the boy got his driver's license finally. A third term was the charm, and we almost didn't make it then, because so we were like, all right, we're gonna let him drive and they couldn't find anywhere close because you had to make appointments, and the closest one we could find was in Clinton, North Carolina, going like towards the beach, so like an hour away. So we were gonna let him drive, make last minute stuff. So we first started to take off, and we missed it. He missed the exit, so we had to turn around. That wasn't his fault. We were doing ways, and we missed it. That wasn't his fault. But we got ready to turn to the left, and there's cars coming, right? So he's like, I can go. I'm like, no, you can't. Now, and I had him once he got all pissed off, and once I calmed down, I'm like, okay, let me explain it to you. The cars, they were far enough away. They looked far enough away. I said, but you got to remember, these cars are coming at 55, 60, 65 miles an hour. So by the time you turn out, especially he's still learning, and by the time you turn out, they're on you and you can get hit. So you need to make sure it is clear, and preferably nothing coming, but they're far enough away so you can time it. And I said, that just comes with
Experience. Yeah.
Once he calmed down, he would listen to me. So we took over. We made him stop. Nicole started driving. She drove about a half hour, and then she had to stop. There's a rest stop. She had to pee. So we're like, hey, you want to drive now? At first he's like, no. And he's like, okay. And so we're driving, and he did good. But then he decided, he switched lanes, and he got in that left lane. I'm like, all right, dude, if you get in this lane,
you got to
go, right? And so he's trying to work on keeping speed level. I mean, he was doing a good 60, 65, 70. So he was doing the speed limit. So you can't do the speed limit, it's like, right? And I'm in the back seat, and I look back and I see the high beams. I'm like, when you get a chance,
it was probably me behind him.
No, you weren't here. I said, when you get a chance, just get over in your right lane. So he got over in his right lane. Everything was fine. We get there. It was like country. Like, we pulled in the parking lot. There's like one car there. We're like, is this first of all, is this the right place? Right? And then we're like, no, this is it. So we go in, and there's another. It's funny that we met another mom and her daughter. They're from Apex too. So it was fun. So it was just funny. So Nicole, we were talking. Her daughter went first and came back, and then while we were talking, and then Matthew took off with the lady, and they came back. It was like 5-10 minutes. We asked the other mother, I'm like, was yours that quick? She said, yeah, they come back. So we're watching them, and they get out of the car, and the lady comes in first, and she looks pissed. I'm like, oh shit. And then Matthew's getting out the car all slow, and then we're looking, because we're trying to read like body language, and we look at the lady behind the desk, and she's like, fuck, dude. So Matthew comes in all slow, looks disappointed. He sat down, and I'm like, fuck he fell again. This is third time. Da 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 da. And the lady's all typing like she was still pissed off. She goes, she looks at him, kind of like, "You want to tell him, or just, you want me to tell him?" And Matthew's like, "I passed." See, that was some fucking bullshit. That was some fucking. And Matthew's like, "She made me do it. I didn't want to do it." And the lady was like, "Yeah, yeah." She's like, "I told him, look sad when you go in. Look, you look sad." And he goes, "I can't do that. I can't." She goes, "Okay, well, you just follow my lead."
He always looks sad.
No, but she wanted him to look like
he failed.
Yeah, like he failed. And so we were like, "Fuck!" I'm like, "I want to talk to your supervisor." But it was funny. No, Nicole's like, "Is there a man?" And then the other lady was there. So we got a good laugh out of that. So he got his license, and so his first time driving himself was Saturday to his little part-time job. It works Saturday morning. So I'm like, "All right, dude, remember, be careful, blah, blah, blah." So he leaves, and of course, me and Nicole both go to the 360, the Life 360 app to watch him. And like a couple of weeks ago when I had driven him to work, I missed the exit to his work and I had to turn around. This Saturday, he missed the exit too. And Nicole's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "No." I said, "I did this a couple of weeks ago." I said, "Just keep watching." And he did. He went, he took the next exit. He looped back around. He got back on the belt line of one. The only thing I would say was I think he was nervous about being late for work. So I was watching the speed like 55, 65, 75, 80. Slow down, bruh. And I think he caught himself because you can see he slowed down. And then he got to work and he came home and that was it. I expected him to be gone like Friday. Like when I got my license, I was gone.
It's like, peace out.
Yeah, and then so he didn't.
You better not need the car today, Mom and Dad.
No, he's got Nicole's old car, so he's got his own car. So, and then he didn't go. He went yesterday. We went out to eat, and he didn't drive. So today it was funny. He was like, they go to Lifetime, and Nicole goes to the pool, and he works out, and then he'll come to the pool. He's like, "Mom, when are you gonna be ready to go to the gym?" And she's like, "You can go without me." He forgot. He goes, "Oh yeah, see you later." He went and got dressed and got in his car and he drove himself to the gym. We watched him again, and I watched him. He got there safe and hung out, and then Nicole went, and then they hung out a little bit, and he left before she did and came home. So he's doing pretty good. So we'll have to wait and see.
Good deal. Good deal. So I'm gonna start my week with what happened at the end of my week. So today. Well, I got to the airport at 5:00 Pacific time yesterday, so 8:00 our time. I watched a bunch of the AEW Revolution directly from the airport because I had a while to wait. And but when I got home, what's wrong?
I accidentally went to my Facebook and it was like I got a message. What's this message? And it was our show, and it was you were talking at the same time. I was trying to get it off before you heard it before it like bled over. So
gotcha. You had this look on your face like, did I fart?
You were I
don't know it.
No, I was trying to figure out if I hit X, will it X me out the show or will it X me out the other one? That's what I was trying to. Which one do I hit?
Okay. So I ordered an Uber to come home from the airport today, and you've obviously been in airports and you've been on planes, so you know that like when you're waiting to get off the plane, they turn off the AC, and you're just sitting there like hot box sweating.
Mm-hmm.
The Uber pulls up. It's a Toyota Camry, and Uber's like, "We've upgraded you to a better car," and I'm like, "Okay, that's great." Well, it pulls up, and all four windows are down, and I'm like, "This shit ain't gonna work." So I get in the car. As I'm getting in the car, I'm like, "Hey, excuse me, is there any way we can make sure that there's AC on in the car?" And she goes, "Oh, we got us some fresh air right now. We doing the fresh air thing," and I'm like, I just sat on a plane for 4.5 hours that, as I was getting up, they turned off the AC. Can you please turn the AC on in the car? And she gave me the whole fresh air thing. Like it's not even hot right now. And I'm like, it's fucking sticky because of the fucking 92% humidity. So am I just going to complain about the Uber while I'm in the Uber? Like, so she put the windows up, and I didn't say any of that, but she put the windows up, but then she left it at like the level that it was at. She didn't like.
What do you mean she left it at the level it was at?
Well, like she didn't turn up the amount of push coming out of the vents, so it was like a nice little breeze coming through it. But I'm sitting there in the back of her car that was 85 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning going, this fucking sucks. Like, and have you, so do you use Uber at all? All right. I use it a lot. And I have never had anyone tell me, no, you can't have AC.
I read your little thing on Facebook, and I kind of agree with Terrence. Had a point that she could have been airing it out.
Well, if she was airing it out, she probably shouldn't have been picking people up.
Maybe it was the last person, like he said, maybe it's the last person before you. Even
still, car didn't smell like that. Car smelled like every so often she smokes in it, but that was it. So I don't think that's the case at all. I think she's just like, I'm going to save on gas mileage.
That's why I don't Uber, man. I drive my own car.
Well, I prefer taking an Uber to the airport and back. That way I don't have to bring my keys or anything. Because I don't use my keys to get in my house. So why bring keys? So anyway, that was the end of the trip. But now, Tino, let's talk about where is it? Oh, there it is. I did actually make one of these. Potsy's Adventures in San Diego. So I flew out to San Diego at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time Wednesday. You want to know what time I went to bed Wednesday night Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 hours behind?
Which is, so what time did you go to bed?
About 3 a.m. So 6 a.m. our time. So I was up a straight 25 hours. Get up, because I went to the show and everything. I met up with everybody that was at the show already, and none of the other artists for Keen Spot showed up until like midday Thursday, even though they were all supposed to be there Thursday morning. No one's flights got there on time and all this other shit. So I'm the only one there, and I'm like, well, this kind of takes the fun out of me being here already. Like I was thinking we'd all go get lunch or whatever, and no, they just weren't there.
Yeah, that.
So, but I did have some pictures and stuff, so like this is our Keen Spot dinner on the last night we were all there and hanging out. So we got me, we got Niall O'Rourke over here. We've got Michael Adams taking the picture. So you can't really see him. He's right here. And then we had Matt Cole here, and then we've got all their significant others. And then a couple of our friends hanging out with us.
You're like, so you're here. We can't see where you're pointing, though. I don't know what you're pointing at.
Oh, you can't see the pointing with my. Oh, you're right. I can't. Oh well. But anyway, yeah. So Niall's in the bottom right corner. Obviously, I'm in the bottom left corner. Michael's even further in the bottom left corner, and Matt is at the head of the table on the other side. So that should help a little bit. Then we got my swag that I ended up getting from the show. So I got Frank Miller to autograph a copy of one of his books. I also got him to sign this poster right here on the far right where it says invasive species, and I actually have that right here to show everybody. I'll take that off the screen.
Oh, William Jett, greatest American hero.
Yeah. So I got this signed by Frank Miller, the artist of it, the inker of it, and the colorist is somewhere in here too. Yep, he's right underneath Frank Miller. So got all 4 signatures from the entire creative team on that. That was pretty cool. Finally, after like 3 different shows, I got the 40th anniversary Dark Horse bag with Hellboy.
Oh, okay.
They'd never released a red bag at the show, and this year they decided to release a red bag because of Hellboy. Nice. And then I got one of the exclusive things that they did, and this was me drawn as Skeletor.
That's cool.
From Masters of the Universe, and mine is probably the only one with the hood, because when I walked up and I said, well, if I'm going to be Skeletor, I got to have the hood. And I said that to the artist, and the artist was like, oh, yeah. No one's asking for the hood. So I got the hood. Got William Katt's signature on Greatest American Hero #1. Also got the producer of the TV show and the writer of the comic to sign that one. But some of the other stuff, let me just so here's a picture of me actually. It's a reel. So that's a baby George Lucas sketch I drew at the show, and then I even colored it in with colored pencil. Here's some of the nightlife out in San Diego. This might be a reel as well, yeah. So you got some of the stuff that we got to see. That's when they were putting the Avengers sign together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they were still putting that together Wednesday night, and the show started Wednesday.
Oh shit.
And I think this is the drive into the convention center, yeah. Let's see. Let me go back real quick. Most of the things I did are on my story. So, so I met George Takei and got him to sign my badge. And then here we had Frank Miller. Well, there's David Finch, one of the best artists in the industry. He took the same flight to Detroit I did. So anyway, Wednesday I get to the show, and there's one thing that I really want to buy at the show, Tino, and I don't normally go and try to find something to buy at the show or anything. But there was one thing I wanted to buy. It was Batman Judge Dredd, Judgment on Gotham, the 35th anniversary edition. And it's not made by DC. It's made by the people that make Judge Dredd. So they're based out of the UK, so you can't get it in the US. Well, this was supposed to be the only show that it was available at, and guess what? It never got to the show.
Oh, shit.
So I was not able to buy that. But I did buy something else. I bought a book by the same guy, and if you looked at that initial swag picture again, over here on the left where this little guy's moving right now.
Mm-hmm.
So on the far left, that is a painted book, hardcover. That's the slipcase for it. And then I even got the if you look up right above that, I got a box of the Marvel Mint cards, which I also wanted to get. So that was kind of cool. I got all that kind of stuff. At the show, like I said, I met George Takei from Star Trek. You got to see that picture. I got to meet Saru from Star Trek Discovery, played by Doug Jones. That was the big, tall, blonde guy that I sent you a picture of. Also got, I can't remember what the name of the character is, but he's the Klingon on Starfleet Academy, was also in that picture.
Okay.
So I met 3 of the actors from Star Trek this weekend, which was awesome because my shirt is the official San Diego Comic-Con 60th anniversary Star Trek shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool getting to meet all those people during the 60th anniversary Star Trek. But the highlight of my show was when Megan, the person running our booth, came up to me and said, Potsy, I got you something, and I think you're going to love it. And, I was a little bit down because I wasn't able to get that Batman Judge Dredd book that I wanted, right? So she goes, I think I got something that you're really going to like. I was like, what's that? And she goes, it's the Frank Miller autograph session. And I was like, I got wide-eyed and everything. I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you're amazing, And what's funny is it was at the booth right next to us. So what she basically did was, she went over for one for herself, but then she sent one of her kids over to get another one of the armbands. And they almost never say no to the little kids.
That's funny.
So that was Thursday night. No, that was Saturday. That was Saturday afternoon, but it was like 5 o'clock Saturday. I had to go over to that booth and get that signature. And I gave him a copy of Jugular, and he looked at it, and this is the guy that created Sin City. So I mean, like, he's the inspiration for me to write and draw that black and white book, right? And I go, I brought you a copy of my book. And he looks at it and he sees the name and he goes, "That's a fucking awesome name." And I'm like, "Goddamn right it is." And then he goes, "Well, you're going to sign it for me, right?" So Frank Miller asked for my autograph.
That's cool.
So you know what I said to him? I said, "Sure, can I borrow your marker?" So I'm probably the only person at the show that Frank Miller asked for an autograph from. Then I met George Takei the next day. It's so wild, man, because like you just randomly see people walk by and you're like, "Oh God, that's that person," or "Oh God, that's that person," and you almost never get a chance to stop. And so, like, at one point, there was a giant Sentinel head at the Marvel booth, which, you know, if anybody was paying attention to my Instagram story all week, it was right next to where we were.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point on, I think, Sunday afternoon, probably even before I left, Kevin Smith was actually allowed to walk in there and take a picture right next to it, where everyone else had to take a picture from like 10 feet away.
Right.
He was in there with the Sentinel right next to our booth, and nobody went, "Hey, there's Kevin Smith," to get anybody to come walk over and talk to, you know, like, so. Thursday night, we had the Keen Spot 26th anniversary panel. It was a packed house. It was awesome. I had everybody laughing, being the MC of the event. We had everybody that was a guest at our booth actually out there talking about some stuff. We had an artist by the name of Naomi Griffin, who is a painter who does covers for at least one of the books that we're doing. She was actually at the booth for a while painting her new cover. So that was really cool. Because people were like coming up going, "What are you doing?" And she's like sitting there using gouache paint to sit there and paint the cover. Pretty fucking cool. So lots of cool shit happening at San Diego. Thursday night, we went to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund party, where I actually talked to people like Scott Snyder, the guy who writes Absolute Batman.
Not Big
first
Papa.
time I had. What's that?
Not Big Papa Pump.
No. Did I meet any wrestlers? No, I didn't even see Cardona and Majors. I didn't see either of them. Kurt Hawkins.
Okay.
But did you see the post from Ryan Reynolds as Gene Pool?
Mm-mm.
So I would have called him Denim Pool because he was wearing a Deadpool costume made out of denim. And he walked around all day Saturday at Comic-Con taking pictures with people and telling everybody he wasn't Ryan Reynolds. And then at the end of the day, all the pictures and everything that he took, he ended up going online and posting all the pictures and being like, "Surprise, it really was me." And he crashed the Marvel panel. And he literally at the Marvel panel, he crashes it while Robert Downey Jr. is asking, "Are there any questions from the audience?" And he's like, "Why does your voice sound familiar? Like, oh, go ahead and ask your question." And of course he's like, "My question's for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, why was Thor crying?" You know, the same thing he said in Deadpool and Wolverine, where he's asking like, "Why is Thor crying when he's holding Deadpool?"
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, everybody realized it was Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if you noticed, Tino, they announced Ryan Gosling will be Ghost Rider.
You said that. I think it was a TikTok.
Yeah, I probably sent it to you. And then they announced who's going to play Black Panther, but it's going to be T'Challa's son.
Yep.
So they announced the actor that's going to play that role, which I thought was kind of cool. And Ryan Coogler is coming back for Black Panther 3. So they'll have the same director. And they basically have now said, you don't know what to expect when it comes to Avengers Doomsday. So we're in for something there. All right, I think I'm talked out on San Diego Comic-Con. Folks, I'll be posting pictures to my Instagram, so if you don't follow Rob Pochak on Instagram, I would highly recommend it. You'll feel like you were at the show with me, and it was a blast. You know, it was a blast catching up with everybody that I knew there. It was a blast getting to catch up with all my friends that are, you know, publishers at other areas.
Did you catch up with the kid that you see every year there?
No, that's at Charlotte, and I did catch up with him.
Okay, I thought I was
in Charlotte. I did.
Okay.
So I met some retailers like Jen King, who is a massive retailer out of the Houston area. Who like, it's funny because I didn't get to meet up with her until Sunday, which, you know, it was like, well, if she doesn't swing by the booth by like 2:00 in the afternoon, she might not catch me. You know, because I'm going to actually try to walk around and go see some stuff.
Right.
And but she stopped by and we talked to her and we talked to her about like state of the industry and different things going on, like and what to expect going forward, what she's seeing sell in her stores, so that way I can kind of get an idea of like what we should be looking at doing. And then a bunch of people just wanted to talk about doing like exclusive covers and things like that for the upcoming books. So pretty exciting. But yeah, I mean, like, at this moment, I'm almost brain dead from the week because I'll say that I'm working on 2 hours of sleep, but it was more like I got home at almost 10:00 in the morning here and set my CPAP up and laid down for 2 hours, and then at noon I was like, I gotta get up. I can't be in bed, you know, afternoon today. So I've got too much stuff to catch up on. Last thing that's going on with me, my car has the check engine light on. The dealership told me how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost me $700 to get this shit fixed. It's a battery sensor and fuse box indicator thing. And so they told me it's going to be $700 parts and labor. And then they told me it's on back order. And I went in last Tuesday, so I would have thought it'd be there by now. Mm-hmm. Well, I messaged the guy today saying, hey, I'm back in town. Do they have the part? And he goes, I'll check on it in a minute and let you know. And then he never got back to me.
Yeah, I hate when they do that bullshit.
And then when I got back today, Tino, I go to pay for something online, and my credit card gets denied. Not because there's no money, but because they were like, this looks like an odd charge. I was just spending money in San Diego for a week off this credit card. And now I get back to where I live and it tells me that it looks fraudulent. Like, what?
It's somewhat paying attention.
Like, every San Diego charge, no problem. You know, you get back and it's like, whoa. We know that you go to that McDonald's all the time, but this might not be you today.
That's funny.
It made me laugh.
That is funny.
Tino, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how you felt about Obsession? Because last week I know that I told you had to watch it.
That shit fucked me up. It did, dude. I'm like, and how long's it been out? It was in theaters and now it's streaming. So you fuckers had a chance to watch it. So I'm gonna talk about it. So if you don't want to hear it, you might want to turn down this part of the show. Cause this motherfucker. So for the gist of it, for you people who hadn't seen it and you sticking around, I'm still gonna spoil it. Is this dude is in love with his co-worker. She had some like kind of friend zone. She doesn't really feel the same. But he goes to this little, it reminded me of Big. So he goes to this little shop. He buys this little thing, and when you break it, you make a wishing willow or something it was called. And
it was a wish stick.
But it said
something. It was called One Wish Willow.
That was it. And so you break it, and then your wish comes true. So he's been trying to build up the nerve to ask this chick out. He finally gets an excuse to like drive her home, and they get to her house, and he's like, and so they're talking back and forth, and she's straight up like, if you like me, you need to tell me. He's like, whoa, no.
I really like being your friend.
Yeah. And then she walked away. He's like, fuck. He goes, this is where he fucked up. I wish that Nikki, whatever her name, loved me more than anyone in the world. And he breaks it, right? So this is the first freaky part of this shit. I thought she had gone in the house. He makes this wish, and all of a sudden you just see the silhouette of her just standing on the front porch. What the fuck is that? And then she just comes up to his car and she's like, you're like, she goes, oh, I'm being weird. And then she talks him into taking her home to his.
Oh, she was home. Oh yeah, yeah. She just goes, I don't want to be alone. Can I come to your house?
Yeah. So whatever they do, what they do. So then it goes from there, and then it just gets weirder from that. In the beginning of the movie, the dude loses his cat. She spends the night at his house, and she does something freaky with the cat, and then she feeds him the cat. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I think and it was some little things, Rob, that freaked me out. Like that first day when him and his coworker are like in that back room, and she's just standing at the cash register,
staring at him. Yeah.
Fuck. It was little, and it's like it's not really. There were some gory, but a lot of it's just like creepy shit. Like she just freaks out for no reason. I think when she was asleep, but she was still talking to him, it's like her inner conscience, like, help me, kill me. I'm like, the fuck is this shit? Or when he left the house and she just stood there all day and pissed and shit and threw up on herself. But the part that did make the part that really got me is when he was sitting there with a coworker in the car.
Oh yeah.
He was like, she goes, open the letter, because she's suspecting the letter to get into college. She'd been declined all these other colleges, and so this is her last hope. And they are sitting there talking. I think why it got me, because I wasn't expecting it.
How are you not expecting it?
Because I figured he would call and she would go home. He would go home and then she would freak out then. No, they're having a conversation. All of a sudden, this bitch busts the window and like chick's eyes all fucked up. And it's like
she didn't just do that. She took a brick and put it on the steering wheel and then hit her head into it.
She's like, oh, honey, and she was so calm. Oh, honey, that's not your fault. No, but you have to help me hide the body now. I'm like, bitch, no, I don't. Just. Okay, so then all this, and they find out that his best friend and her were hooking up, blah, 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 blah. Then, excuse me 1 second.
The hell was that? Yeah, folks, I know that I'm giving you dead air here, but I have... That was a loud knock just to ask Tino some questions. Was that their favorite scene from Obsession, when all of a sudden, like, he's like, maybe you should go home tonight, and then all of a sudden you just hear knocking on his door?
Well, no. He's like, stop talking about the movie, because he wants to watch it.
Too bad. You had plenty of time. It was in theaters. Anyways. So yeah, it was more of a suspense thriller than it was a horror movie. But definitely had the gore, like you said at that moment. The one scene of the movie that I absolutely loved, Tino, was when he calls customer service for the wish stick, and they ask him, does he want to return his wish, and he's like, well, I don't really want to return it, I just want to amend it. And the guy's like, well, we don't do that. And then he goes, do you want to talk to her? And he's like, what do you mean, do I want to talk to her? He's like, Nikki, she's on the other line. And he's like, what? And you just hear screaming in the background. Now, I take that as that's the real Nikki, not the one that we're seeing, because she's now basically in hell or wherever.
Yeah.
So, what are you looking at now?
Nothing. Texan's little motherfucker, he hit my wall kind of hard.
Tino, only other show that I watched a couple movies when I was on the plane. I watched one called Over Your Dead Body, which has Jason Segel and Samara Weaving in it. The girl from Ready or Not. and it's by the same people that do it's by 87 North, so the same people that do like Bullet Train and movies like that.
I was telling Nicole if it's an A27,
A24,
and Bloomhouse. If I see either one of those, it's gonna be good.
So by the way, I learned it's Blumhouse. It's Jason Blum, not Jason Bloom. I used to call it Bloomhouse too, and then all of a sudden, like I heard him on stage, himself sit there and call and Blumhouse, blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, is that how you say it?
Oops.
For the most part, anytime either of those studios are on a project, it tends to be pretty good. I also watched Ready or Not, Here I Come, the sequel to the original Ready or Not movie. I watched that on the plane. And have you watched the sequel?
I watched them both, yeah.
That movie is just a trip. Like, I was laughing for most of it. I love how at the very beginning, like she's sitting on the porch step, like she was at the end of the last one.
Yeah.
And they just use the same line. And the line is, "What happened to you?" And she goes, "In-laws."
Maybe it was at the end where she was going back to get her sister, and the chick was there with the rocket launcher.
She shot it the wrong direction. I liked when the one guy killed his own representative, and then all of a sudden, like, he exploded because it's like you can't kill your own family or whatever.
Yeah.
You were allowed to kill your own family, but you weren't allowed to kill another one of the players.
Yeah.
And they all just started exploding, which I thought was hilarious. Although what's really weird about that is in the first movie, the help keeps getting killed. So wouldn't the people explode at that point?
I don't know.
Because they were all trying to help kill the girl in that one. So it's just a new proviso or something in there that they threw in, but I thought it was hilarious. Johnny Storm just said that X-Men 97 is rushing throughout their story arc. And yes, because they went Grant Morrison this week with the black and yellow costumes, Terrence. And I laughed when I saw them because I was like, that definitely happened in the 2000s, not the 90s. So they're just skipping around and picking whatever they want to actually make those stories out of. If you haven't watched it, Tino. But how about 37 minutes into this show, we start talking about some wrestling?
I didn't watch a whole lot. So what do we got? We got
well, we have to do SummerSlam predictions with
right.
whatever amount of the card they've given us.
Yeah, I don't think we got a full card yet.
I have a card.
What's that? They're probably going to have more matches tonight and Friday. You think?
That's the wrong one. Okay, here's SummerSlam card lineup revealed for Saturday and Sunday schedule. So I think this is the exact ones because they announced it on. Oh, some of the biggest news about pro wrestling this week is that
Bailey
Pro Wrestling Nation on Sirius XM is no longer Pro Wrestling Nation. Do you know what it is?
WWE. Matter of fact, I was waiting for that. I thank you for reminding me.
It is now WWE Radio, and their first order of business was to fire Thunder Rosa off the show.
What? Why?
Because she works for AEW.
It says what's it still say? It's channel 156.
It is 156, but as of this morning, when they launched Busted Open, it was WWE Radio. Okay. And now they're doing a simulcast radio broadcast of Monday Night Raw tonight for the first time.
And they fired Thunder Rosa because she's AEW. Well, Mark Henry in WWE, and he's now back under a Legends contract.
And Bully Ray is obviously working for them because he does LFG. Nick Nemeth is the only one that's questionable, and even him, Nick Nemeth is actually like because of the working arrangement with TNA, he's allowed to stay working there.
I didn't know he was a host. I thought he was just a guest that one. I saw an episode with him. I didn't realize.
No, he's a host 2 days a week. And there was
What about Tommy Dreamer?
We'll find out. As far as I know, everybody was allowed to stay because Tommy, even though he was removed from TNA, I mean he's part of that show as one of the radio hosts from like 10 years ago. So I don't know if they'd get rid of him for that, but I thought it was pretty interesting to see that like Thunder Rosa posted her goodbyes and everything on there.
That's so bullshit.
I think it's some bullshit that it's now WWE focused radio, but I listened to a little bit of it today and it didn't sound like they were changing any like obviously they're not talking about AEW and they might still talk about TNA because they have a partnership. But
so they won't be talking about AEW anymore. So it's just straight WWE.
Yeah. So WWE is apparently trying to erase AEW from the mouths of babes.
I didn't realize that's what it was. I didn't realize it was busted open. I thought it was a whole new station. I didn't realize they were just piggybacking.
Yeah. They basically took over the station.
That's still some bullshit, but okay.
So all right. We'll talk about these matches in a little bit, but apparently here are your matches for night one. It is the Usos, Fatu versus Keys, Knight, and who's the third one there? I can't see it. It's in dark purple.
Solo.
Oh, Solo. Sikoa, yeah. Fatal Influence versus Nikki Brie and Paige.
Yep.
That actually ought to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
As long as the Bellas don't mess it up. Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Liv versus Io, the Hell in a Cell match, and Cody versus Punk. That's night one. Night two is Trick versus Corbin.
Yep.
Penta versus Gable.
Yeah.
Danhausen versus Dom. Finn versus Sammy for the number one contendership. Charlotte, Jade, Chelsea, Tiffany, and I guess one other one that hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
All right.
So now how did we get there, Tino? Let's take a look. Let's talk about, what do we talk about first? Raw?
Okay.
We're just going to try to run through some of the results here, folks. We're not going to try to take all night with this. So LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, Chad Gable and Penta versus Rusev and Ethan Page were scheduled for the night. They started the night with a match. They didn't even start with one of those, like interview segments to start the show. It was Javon Evans and Dragon Lee versus The Vision.
I like when they start with a match, though.
Me too. It gets right to the action. Absolutely. And The Vision defeated Evans and Lee. I didn't think anything else was going to be possible in that situation. They gave it a B+. Danhausen was home. They gave that a C. I did find it funny that all of a sudden it became a McDonough versus Obafemi match.
Why?
Well, I mean, because Oba had nothing to do.
Yeah, keep that push. Remember, he's heading to the cell with Brock. And while JD's probably not Brock level, they still want to keep. I like that they kept a focus on Oba. Right, they're still keeping that focus on Oba. So I thought it was an interesting way to get into it, because that was fucking hilarious when he threw that money and all of a sudden you hear the girls are like JD.
Well, and
he's like, is this your money? And and he pointed down, no, this is his. And Dan was like, no, he threw it. And then you heard him go snitch. So it was cool. It was funny. I liked it.
Bleacher Report gave the entire segment backstage through the match an A+.
Yes.
And you're right when you're saying, hey, we need to make sure that everybody knows exactly what kind of monster Obafemi is going up against Brock Lesnar. Here it is. This is what he looks like against everybody else on the roster. So when we get to Saturday now, and he's facing off against Brock Lesnar, when it looks like he can be beaten, it's because it's Brock Lesnar. All right. Femi is a star and ready to be a world champion right now. In a perfect world, he would be defeating Roman Reigns to capture the gold in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Solo Sikoa called out Seth Rollins. They gave that a C+. It basically just felt like Rollins was being called out for the past couple of weeks anytime they were worried that Roman wasn't going to show up.
I think, though, they were keeping that bloodline thing going. I think Solo.
Oh, totally.
I think Solo coming out there was good, right? Because they're trying to build Solo up too, I think. But I think my favorite part was when when Jacob's music hit and Solo's leaving the ring. He's looking at stuff. He's like, it was good setting up a match, gave him a little bit of humor, right? And so and it gave because Solo, I think Seth super kicked Solo, not Solo, Jacob, right? So that's more tension on him with the family. So
yeah,
that it all melded, I thought.
Yeah, it just seemed to all explode into a bunch of stuff because I think over the weekend there was all this talk that Jey Uso had been pulled from the match for some reason, and then Jey shows up and starts spearing people.
I didn't hear that, Jay.
Well, that was before this happened. So now I think whatever people were saying, like maybe it was a misdirection.
Got it.
Then we had more Danhausen and JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio stuff happening. Dom and JD start beating down Danhausen, and someone must have said his name because Joe Hendry appeared.
Yes.
And that set up an impromptu Dominic Mysterio versus Joe Hendry match. So I want to point out we had the Javon match, we had the JD McDonough match. We now have a Joe Hendry versus Dominic Mysterio match. Like none of those were announced at the time. But it was nice to see Joe Hendry come back. It also made him look like he got a little bit of a shine back. This kind of feels like what I said when they put Charlotte with Alexa. They've got lightning in a bottle right now at Danhausen, so put Joe Hendry with it because you want him to be a baby face, and suddenly you get the nice little rub off of that.
Yeah, but I think Hendry already had that himself.
I think he was cooling off, dude.
I think he was injured because when he came back, there was a pop. I don't think he's cooling off.
I mean, he was injured, but even before that, I thought he started cooling off. Either way, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu came out looking like he literally just left the prison cell. I mean, if it was orange, it would have looked like. I mean, he looked like he got his outfit from Taz when Taz first showed up, except it was red.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Wait, here, you want to see it? I'll share the screen.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Looks like he's right out of prison.
I remember that now. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to leave that. Well, I don't want to leave that screen up. Remove.
We don't want to get another violation. What was it we got when we?
Well, that's why I'm not showing video. I'm just showing pictures. And they're on Bleacher Report, so I don't think Bleacher Report minds as long as we give them credit. Jimmy, this is when it actually happened, when all hell broke loose and the rest of the bloodline showed up and Solo showed up and everything. Yeah, so there was that. MVP and overall grade, they gave MVP of the night to LA Knight. I think they should have given it to JD McDonough because JD McDonough got the only A+ segment of the night. And so that was Monday Night Raw, which led us to NXT for the week, Tino. And in NXT, we got a nice surprise here, didn't we? All right, here we go. Dark State versus Saquon Sugars, Noam Dar, and Romeo Moreno.
Yeah.
That match was solid. Dark State went over the other three. Kendall Gray and Lola Vice face off.
I remember the surprise now. Yeah. Yeah.
They gave that a B. It was nice seeing like Kendall actually have some like fire when she was talking this time.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time she talks like straight up babyface, it's kind of like she kind of looks like she's reading a teleprompter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting there. We're getting there with her character. I mean, she's still super young. Keanu Carver versus Hank Walker. I'm going to say that even though Hank is a pretty big dude, that Keanu Carver probably walked in there and just beat the mess out of him.
You would think. But
is that not what happened?
Hank still won the match. It was a good match then. It was
no. Keanu Carver defeated him.
No, I thought, what's his name? They changed his name. Prosper came in and cost him the match.
So it says, sure enough, Carver dominated the majority of the match. Walker had a brief flurry of offense only to get put down by Carver following the victory. Carver continued to beat him down, and Tank came out as well as EK Prosper.
Okay. I knew Prosper came out and did something. I thought he helped him win the match. My bad.
Jada Parker versus Natty. You got what you wanted.
Miss Parker. And now they're going to, aren't they going to, no, that's the women's champion.
Well, what's funny is the way this match happened was you had Nikita Lyons and Carmen Petrovic trying to figure out who's going to throw the towel in to end the match so that Natty can get out of there. And then Thea Hale runs in out of nowhere and takes it and just tosses it in.
That was funny.
Well, that's probably going to set up Natty versus Thea Hale now.
Yeah, she's going to get her ass whooped.
Yeah, Thea Hale's going to take a beating.
Natty's going to fuck her up.
Sean Spears versus younger Sean Spears, Nico Vance.
They fucked Sean Spears up. I don't know what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to find him.
He did win the race. He did win the match by disqualification, but yeah, they beat the bricks off of him. Reina Volcan versus Skylar Ray. Now Volcan's the one from LFG, right?
Yeah, did she debut last week?
Yeah.
I slept through that. I don't remember that.
This was the standard squash you'd expect Volcan to have in her first debut match. Ray was the perfect opponent for her, so she could sell offense exceptionally well.
Yeah, I don't remember that match. So I must have fallen asleep. I dozed off a couple of times, so I thought I saw it all, but apparently I didn't because I sure don't remember that.
NXT Championship Street Fight: Tony D'Angelo versus Naraku.
Yep.
And Tony D retained. And then out came because D'Angelo blocked the second shot of red mist from Naraku before planting him through the table and the steel steps to retain his title. Mike Santana then walked through the crowd to make it officially known that he is NXT, and he's walking in immediately looking at the NXT title, just like Naraku did. Now, let me ask you something with that. Does that show exactly how weak the men's division in NXT is? Because I'm thinking guys like Tavion Heights and we already talked about the one that beat Hank
Carver.
Yeah, Keanu Carver. How these guys are going to be something in the future, but obviously Naraku is a former IWGP World Champion. Mike Santana is a former TNA World Champion.
And I think that's what it is, because, we talk about how while Tavion and the other dudes, Keanu, are up and coming, I don't think they have the reps, right? So we talk about the reps and who's ready for it. We just said Naraku has the reps, right? He's got the experience. He's not green. Same thing with the dude who just walked in.
Mike Santana.
Mike Santana, because he's been TNA, he's been AEW, back to TNA. You know what I
Now
mean?
there are some interesting things there and takeaways though, because obviously Keanu Carver and Tavion Heights and all those guys are coming up through the old WWE system, and these guys from outside are coming in getting main event matches. But if you notice, so far they're not winning any of these main event matches.
I think it's going to be different with
Santana,
because I almost believe they might be ready to. Tony's been there for a minute. They might be ready to push him up.
Sure.
So
I don't know how like, I know with his charisma and everything, he should do fine. And you know where he'd be really good? So if you're bringing back Kenzo, or I was about to say Kenzo instead of Enzo and Cass. If you're bringing back Enzo and Cass, I think Tony D'Angelo fits in with them.
He'd have to go back to that Dom gimmick. So which gimmick do you think would be better? The gimmick he's got now, or
I think the gimmick he's got now is more like what Cass is coming in with. You know, he's a little off the sauce. He's a little out there. He's a little crazier now. You know, and I think that really does work with Enzo. You know, and if they're worried about, and I don't know why you'd worry about Tony D'Angelo on the mic. He's been good on the mic since he basically came in the door. But if you were worried about that, you have Enzo end up carrying him on the mic, you know? So, I
didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the look between the three of them would be a nice solid stable. And then you put someone like, you have Izzy Dame come up and actually rejoin the group, and she'd fit right in.
Not Izzy Dane. What's her name? Izzo.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking the one with the New York accent.
Yeah.
Rizzo.
Yeah.
And is she still with them, right?
Yeah, she was knee surgery, so she's about to recover. Because I've been watching her. She's been working out because I follow her on TikTok. She's been working out at the performance center, so I think she's just about clear to come back.
She's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, I've been watching her TikTok. She does her Rizzo rants, and she talks about what happens on NXT, and she's got that whole thing. Oh God, yeah.
She is hilarious.
She's
but
hilarious.
So WWE scores a win with getting Mike Santana to sign. I don't think he would have went back to AEW the way that he felt he was treated there. But it's a win for them.
I got a question, because originally Enzo and Cass, remember Carmella used to be with them. So you think they can bring Carmella back, or do you think Rizzo will be better?
Well, Carmella has to have the new baby first.
If she ain't had that baby now, she's been pregnant for like 3 years. I think.
Well, she might be having another one. I mean, Corey Graves just keeps putting them in there. Probably going, baby, you don't need to come to work. You stay home with the babies. No, but I think Rizzo would actually be a good addition. Like if they just went Enzo Cass and they wanted to have some eye candy and some cherry pie there. That like Rizzo would be a good choice. In fact, probably better than what Carmella was back in the day.
Gotcha. All right, I was just wondering what your thoughts.
No, good question. I don't think we have to go over AEW shows except for Revolution. So I'm going to move right over to SmackDown results. I'm trying to get the mouse to work, but it keeps bouncing off the other things. So all right, so here we go with this. Sign on the dotted line. Obviously, at the SummerSlam kickoff from Fanatics Fest. Why did that turn off?
You got it on the timer again?
It's on a timer again. But I didn't put it. And it's not letting me change the timer. Okay, I got it changed. There we go. At Fanatics Fest, we finally got Nick Aldis to sit there and get a little bit more payback against Gunther. And then Triple H walked out, growing his hair back in, trying to show all us bald people that he still has a full head of hair.
I didn't even know.
By the way, if you can grow a full head of hair, grow a full fucking head of hair. Don't ever be bald.
Maybe he did.
I mean, it's a lot less work. Don't get me wrong, but if you can grow hair, have hair. Like Tino and I really don't know what that's like anymore. So, anyways, but he makes it official. Aldis versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Obviously, I already mentioned that's going to be on night 1, I believe. I hope it's not an ESPN match. And right now, I don't know which match. They better not put Hell in a Cell on ESPN for free.
Why?
Because I want blood. It's Hell in a Cell.
I doubt they're going to put that one on for free. It'll probably
Me too.
Match.
But just to be safe, I don't want it on there. Gunther said this match will be the greatest moment of Aldis's career, but it's beneath him and a waste of time, and he should be pursuing the world championship. Leave it to Gunther to get a premier match against the national hero.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he sits there and tells everybody
national treasure.
National treasure. You're right, treasure. You know, when I met him, I asked him, I was like, which nation? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you're British. Like, are you our national treasure or are you their national treasure? And he's like, nobody's ever asked me that. Contract signings are rarely memorable because they're just another excuse for two people to cut promos on each other and then throw someone through a table. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Lainey Reed versus Brie Bella. I knew Lainey Reed was not going to win this match, but I also knew that she's the better talent in the ring.
Is she the Shawn Michaels?
What, out of Fatal Attraction?
Yeah,
Fatal Influence.
Out of the two, if she
no. Fallon Henley has something special about her, dude.
Well, you just said that.
No, I said out of her and Brie Bella.
Oh, okay.
So Brie Bella was going to go over in this match because they gotta keep the champs looking strong, but Lainey Reed's the better wrestler between the two of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
But out of all three Fatal Influence people, I think Fallon Henley has the most upside.
I don't know though. I think
JC Jane currently is the best wrestler, and I know that I'm sorry for stealing your thunder there. But I think she's the better wrestler right now. I think Fallon Henley just isn't given chances. I mean, she was a North American champion.
I think she'll break away. I think right now she still has some weaknesses, and I think that's why they got those three together. Out of all of them, I think if they were to split them right now, JC Jane would be the breakout. And close behindly by Fallon. I'm not saying Fallon doesn't have it. I think she reminds me, and I've told you this before, she reminds me of Mandy Rose, right? She has it. I think she needs that final, and I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? That final, and she could be the next, Mandy Rose.
No, I'm right there with you. I think that
right now, if they split them up, it would be JC.
Well, yeah. Well, the other two would probably split up and still be a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they give you female Shield vibes though, where all of them are talented.
And that's what I was about to say. Don't get it twisted. Fallon will be a women's champion. She's just not ready right now.
Well, I don't know if she will because WWE is so set on making sure that only certain people get to that level.
But here's the thing.
Because of fucking Michael Hayes.
There's a certain, but they're all about to fate. Like Michael Hayes is about to die, or he won't be around forever, right? And so they won't have their Rheas and their Ios. They've got to start building people because right now Rhea's out, and we talked about it last week. I'm not happy about the whole interim thing because right now Rhea is their meal ticket, but she's, you know what I'm saying. Eventually, they got to find they have to start setting up other talents.
Well, 100%. Like we keep saying that on the men's side. It's great that Trick Williams is U.S. champ, but if Trick Williams doesn't actually become number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at some point, what's the fucking point? Next matchup was Chelsea Green versus Kiana James. Chelsea Green won.
This is for a qualifier for that ladder match for the interim championship.
Well, good, because Chelsea Green deserves to be in that ladder match more than any of the other people announced for it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Monroe had a quick segment with Tiffany Stratton backstage where she threw her into like the giant equipment boxes. So I guess we're starting to move towards that. We might even get that match this Friday night.
No, it wasn't Tiffany she threw. It was Johnny's wife.
Oh, that's right. It was Candice LeRae. But it was after she had an interaction with with Tiffany. She pretty much.
It's like, I don't know if it was like backhanded compliments. Oh, you're just like me, and you like to find her things, and blah blah blah. And so, but I think she also made it clear she wants that belt.
CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring. This is a segment I did actually get to watch, Tino, because I just happened to be in my hotel room at the moment and went, oh yeah, I'm 3 hours behind.
This it didn't do it for me, because it seems like it was recycled from the Roman promo that CM Punk did, right down to, I'm not going to let Dusty Kid beat me. He's same thing. I'm going to bury you next to your father, when he's talking to Roman, right? So it's like he's recycling.
Well, it felt like it was even more recycled than that. It felt like it was recycled from the MJF versus Punk promos, because there's even a moment in there where Cody sits there and says, you might drop pipe bombs, but I drop nukes. And Cody said it, and that was what MJF said to CM Punk when they were having their feud.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So why are we recycling? Are we that lazy?
Well, okay, you want to know why they're recycling? I can tell you. It's because naturally there is no storyline between these two. So they've got to go based on their own personal legacies and try to figure out a way to have something stick. Like,
they're not interacting in AEW. I thought that's what they were trying to
allude to.
Yeah.
Well, they never did really. They might have actually had one backstage segment where they said hi to each other and been like, it'd be nice to get in the ring with you, and that was about it.
They didn't have it going on in AEW.
Yeah, I don't think they did. So this is one of those setups where it's like, it just feels like they're going, the names sell the match, and hopefully a nugget will come out of it. Like let's be real. When we first started watching the Roman versus Punk stuff before WrestleMania, we were both sitting there going, it didn't get heated and didn't make us want to watch the match until Punk sat there and said he's going to bury him next to Sika. And that's when it had that nugget, right? This doesn't have that nugget. Like they both keep going, listen, I respect you. And it was an accident. I hit you with the title over my shoulder, which, by the way, was a great moment. I really did like that, especially when Cody, I didn't like the backstage thing where he's like, that was an accident, right? And it's like, nobody would do that. They'd walk up to him, they'd turn him around, and they'd be like, you did that on accident, right? But they're like yelling and screaming at each other. And it's like, are they just trying to redo All In London? Are they gonna have Punk just take a swing at somebody backstage?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. The match feels like it's being forced. It feels like it's not it feels like it should be a WrestleMania match. And they're just throwing it at us now because they're like, we got to sell tickets.
Good point.
Like how often would I say a Seth Rollins match is better built than a CM Punk match? Almost never, right?
Yeah.
and right now the Roman Seth match is definitely a better build. All right. Now on the house show tours that they're doing right now, they've had Danhausen come out and interrupt these two to try to make them like shake hands and leave peacefully. And when he does it, he's coming out. The last time I saw it, he was in his shower towel and he had one wrapped around his head too. So he just came out and he's like, "Call a man Punk.
I
Cody
didn't see
Rhodes, you need to calm down. You two are friends." Like he's trying to get them to shake hands and everything.
it. Stupid.
It's hilarious. Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax for a spot in the ladder match. And, whatever happened to Charlotte Flair's bad leg? Because
That's what I was asking.
like, it just went away. She's going up against a 300-pound woman who, by the way, Nia Jax is on fucking Ozempic. She has lost a ton of weight, and people aren't even noticing.
Why do you say?
Well, okay, maybe she's not on Ozempic. Whoever their nutritionist is in the WWE is needs a raise, because to get Gunther to go from 300 pounds to like 200 pounds is insane. To get Akira Tozawa to drop down from 300 pounds to where he is even crazier. But to see people like Nia Jax actually slimming down to the point where it's like you're not the immovable force anymore. Like people can pick you up and move you now.
Oh, she's still a big girl.
She is. She is. And because she's Samoan, she's probably always going to be. But if she's using the same nutritionist that everybody else is using, there was a person holding up a sign this week that on the house show stuff that it said, "Punk ain't skinny fat no more." And Punk got up on the turnbuckle and pointed at the guy, and he goes, "There's still a little. I'm working on it. There's still a little." Charlotte Flair wins this by a disqualification because Jade caused the DQ. But why would you cause the DQ getting your nemesis into the match?
I think it's one of those. She wanted her so bad she wasn't thinking. You know what I mean? I don't think she intentionally got her DQ.
But it was like right in front of the referee.
Yeah, I don't think she was thinking about it. And in that, I was okay with it because she's just, I'm coming to whoop your ass for what you did to my best friend. I don't care what we got going on right now. She was, zoned out to everything else.
She was being red and was in a berserker rage like Wolverine. Sure. Yeah. Royce Keys versus Damian Priest versus Finn Balor versus Trick Williams for the #1 contendership match slot because Sami Zayn is already in that match at SummerSlam. So when we thought Sami was going to be left off the card, he may now have match of the night.
And still lose. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Probably. So, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was good. I knew who was going to win because everybody else had their own thing going into SummerSlam, pretty much.
Damian Priest doesn't have a match.
Yeah, but he's still being chased. He's still got that thing with he's in what the Triple A stuff. He's got the tag team. They're looking at the War Raiders. He's got his hands full right now, so I didn't figure him making it. You know what I mean?
Well, and if I remember correctly, this match ended without any outside interference, which surprised me because you would have thought Baron Corbin could have shown up and taken Trick Williams out of the match because obviously being a 4-way, it was going to be no disqualification. You could have had Jacob. Well, Jacob Fatu did interrupt.
Corbin came out after cameras went off, and that's when they set up the match with him and Trick.
So that'll probably be something that they show in a backstage segment tonight.
Yeah.
I was wrong though because Jacob Fatu did interrupt and take Royce Keys out of the match. But Balor ends up hitting Priest with the coup de grace to win this match.
Old Judgment Day buddies.
The old Judgment Day buddies who have now basically said, "I don't have a problem with you no more. I don't have a problem with you." Well, now Finn's got to win, so maybe they got a problem again.
It makes sense. If Finn wins that #1 contendership, and it seems like they're putting a rocket on Finn, he wins that championship. Who knows? Damian's could say, "Hey, bitch, you You know, you cost me my title. Hey, come here. Let me talk to you for a second when you got that title.
So they gave the show a C-. And for what I saw from it, I think that the main segment, which we already talked about, Cody and Punk, did not deliver the goods.
It did not.
But I felt like the wrestling was solid that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially the main event. I thought the main event was good.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that was kind of rough. A B-. Yeah.
I mean, they gave the main event a B-. So, okay. All right, now we're going to talk about. Let's see. Weekly wrestling news, real quick, Tino. Bleacher Report has some backstage rumors, including CM Punk is adding fuel to the Bayley intrigue. By the way, at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, they asked, I want to say it was Jade Parker, Danhausen, Rey Mysterio, Mr. Iguana, AJ Lee, and CM Punk who they want their last match in WWE to be against. And they asked AJ Lee first, and she said Bayley because I just love her. And then they asked CM Punk, and remember, Bayley's almost out at this rate based on what we're hearing, right? So AJ Lee says she wants to face Bayley. CM Punk goes, well, my wife said Bayley, so I'm going to say Bayley because she loves her. And then they go to Danhausen, and Danhausen's like, well, I got to go with everybody else. Bayley. Then they go to, like I said, I think it was Jada Parker, and Jada Parker is like, well, you know, nope, Bayley. I want Bayley too. And then they go to Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is like, I'm not going to ruin this, Bayley. And then they look at Mr. Iguana, and Mr. Iguana goes, Rey. And Rey looks at him and goes, you ruined it.
That's funny.
They did announce a 3-pack for the figures, by the way. It is CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Larry.
Yes.
So I thought that was really cool that they actually announced that. And one of the things that I wanted to try to get while I was there, I wanted to get the 3-pack because they had a San Diego exclusive Lou Albano, Roddy Piper, and Cyndi Lauper's first WWE.
Oh, damn.
They wanted $80 for it, and I just I couldn't wait in line for it because you could either get a wristband, which automatically got you to like the front part of the line, or after all that was done, it was like whatever's still in stock.
Okay.
So, all right. So that's the first thing is CM Punk posted a picture of Bayley's entrance and her silhouetted in there. And he's basically just saying, come on, guys, fix this situation, you know, without actually saying anything.
Gotcha.
Then we have Rhea Ripley's injury has disrupted the SummerSlam plans. No shit, Bleacher Report. Like, who didn't know that shit?
They are so, yeah.
Now, at the same time, I'm going to say that it may have disrupted those plans for the better. Because when you think about it, now there's 5 women getting a spot on the SummerSlam card instead of just 2.
Yeah.
You know, because now I'm wondering what they're going to put on that Friday night before SummerSlam.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how they always try to like load up the card the night before too?
Mm-hmm.
So you have Friday Night SmackDown, and then you've got 2 nights of SummerSlam. So now they've got to figure out what they're going to put on SmackDown so that it still entertains the crowd, but doesn't have the chance of injury on any of the stars that are going to be on the main shows.
Okay.
You know? So let's see. Royce Keys discusses his in-ring usage since his move to WWE. He's actually been telling people that he wants to either wrestle in NXT or in AAA. He wants to just get more in-ring time. So good for him on that. I think that more people need to do that. All right. Redemption winners and grades for the show. It was a big ass card, and I did not watch all of it. I will admit that, but I did see some of the stuff, like I watched the Jay White, Juice Robinson versus Clark Connors and David Finlay double chain match. That shit was insane, Tino.
Really?
Yeah, because one guy from each team was tied to the other team and vice versa. So it was like, so Juice Robinson was tied to, I think, Clark Connors, and David Finlay was tied to Jay White. And just watching how that match was going on was just wild.
Okay.
So I saw that match. Here's what you had. You had the Conglomeration versus Lethal Twist. You had Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. You had Jay White and Juice Robinson versus Clark Connors and David Finlay in a double chain match. You had Jack Perry versus Beast Mortos, Commander, Mike Bailey, Nick Wayne, and El Clone for the number one contender for the international title. That was a ladder match. Then you had Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito, Chris Jericho versus Ciampa, Mark Davis versus El Idolo, Shida versus Maya World for the TBS Championship, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland versus Pac and Claudio for the Men's Tag Team Championship, Kenny Omega versus Kevin Knight for the Men's World Championship, and Tekla versus Willow Nightingale for the Women's World Championship. So this was as stacked as you can get, but this was back like in the day when WWE did WWE Roadblock, and it was like, well, Dean Ambrose isn't losing the championship here or whatever, you know, like you're not going to have Kenny Omega lose to Kevin Knight 30 days before you're going to All in you know, London.
Right.
But that doesn't mean there weren't some other changes. So here we go. Here's how it happened. The Conglomeration versus is this the pre-show? I don't give a shit about pre-shows. Conglomeration defeated Lethal Twist. International title number one contenders ladder match. Speedballs Mike Bailey with the win, Tino.
They let him have a win?
They let him have a win. He's going to go after the international championship.
Who is that? Is that Moxley? No. Who's international champion?
Kyle Fletcher? I think it's Kyle Fletcher.
Okay.
So I mean that'll be a hell of a match for Kyle Fletcher to win.
Shut up.
I bet that match was awesome to watch. And Johnny Storm just told us that Kyle Fletcher is that champion.
Kyle the Fletcher.
The Young Bucks versus Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. Who do you think won?
The Young Bucks and Fletcher. Well, seeing how
No, not Fletcher. Ospreay and Moxley.
Seeing how Ospreay is getting ready to go for the world title, I would have to say the Ospreay and Moxley one. And your boy has a hard on for Moxley. So I think it was Moxley and Ospreay.
The Young Bucks.
What?
Ospreay continued to operate as a babyface while associating with the Death Riders, so a lot of people came into this bout expecting him to fully embrace the dark side to get the win, but his refusal to betray his morals led to the Bucks getting the win in the end. So when he wins the title at All In, he's going to get 2 minutes of being super excited, all the confetti coming down, and then he's going to get the shit beat out of him by all of the Death Riders.
Okay.
All right, Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito for the International Championship, and Kyle Fletcher wins this match in a stellar event, like everybody was expecting.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect.
I mean, these two guys would be main eventing anywhere else, except for the top two WWE shows. Like TNA, these two would be main eventing. IWGP, they'd be main eventing. NXT, they're main eventing.
I think they could main event SmackDown. I don't say main event in Raw. I can say main event in SmackDown.
So main eventing a SmackDown show, sure. Main eventing a SmackDown PLE, no. Not yet.
Okay.
They'd be held down.
All right.
I mean, we were just talking about that. They're not creating the stars.
It's true.
The Dogs versus the Bang Bang Gang in the double chain match.
I'm sure it's the Dogs. I'm sure they cheated to win.
They did. Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta interrupted and attacked Jay White, but the Guns and Ace Austin showed up to help their allies, but Marina Shafir brought in the Shillelagh, and Finley hit with the Shillelagh. So isn't it weird that all of these people in the Death Riders are playing the heels, except for like Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay?
That's
and even then, Moxley does half the time.
We're talking about it. We've talked about it before. I think there's coming a time where they're going to turn on Moxley and kick him out.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
And I hope that Will Ospreay is the one that actually comes to save him, because like he was his nemesis for a little while, and then all of a sudden it's like, but have him save him, but then have Moxley go away for 6 months.
That ain't happening.
It ain't happening. Hikaru Shida, the TBS champion, versus Maya World. Who do you think won, Tino?
I'm hoping Maya World. Remember I told you they were on this Maya World kick, and she won a couple of the matches. Remember her brother passed and all that stuff. And it's cool. I would hope they would push her because she's good. She's got it. She's got it.
So who do you think actually got the win?
I think Maya should have got it, but I'm sure Shida cheated.
Nope. Maya World got the win.
She won the championship?
She is the TBS champion.
Yes.
So
I'm excited. That's wow.
And she beat a 3-time AEW Women's World Champion to do it.
Yeah. Wow. So maybe they're putting stock in her. Maybe they are going to try to push her.
After that, we had Cage and Cope versus the Death Riders for the men's tag team championships.
Cage and Cope ain't losing that yet.
Picked up the wins to retain their title.
Yep.
This was a solid match with some fun moments, but the lack of any kind of significant build-up may have hurt it. The action was enjoyable because all 4 guys are skilled veterans, but it wasn't quite enough to stand out on this PPV. They gave it a B-. It was a solid match.
Okay.
Chris Jericho, the Painmaker, versus Tommaso Ciampa in a no-holds-barred match.
Probably.
Like every other match in AEW.
Probably Painmaker because he came out with the gimmick. So that's what, like when Finn Balor would come out as the demon, he would. So yeah, Jericho probably won this match.
And I'm going to tell you, I don't think that's the end of this feud.
Oh no.
Well, they're 1-1 now.
Yeah. In
the regular wrestling match, which still ended up bloody, Tommaso Ciampa won. In the no holds barred match, Jericho won. So he grabbed a drill and actually went into Ciampa's forehead with it.
What?
I'm not kidding. Yeah. They've been threatening it all this time. Now, the way he did it was he kind of like angled it so it, it's like scraping against. There was a moment in the match where Chris Jericho took a thing of sandpaper and rubbed it across Tommaso Ciampa's head, and he just started bleeding.
Oh my God.
He took hockey pucks with glued thumbtacks and dumped them out of a bag. Like, this was, they broke 2 mirrors on each other. It was insane. Like, Chris Jericho had pieces of metal sticking out of his forehead.
I gotta see if I can find some highlight or something. This match. Wow.
It was the right kind of match to make Chris Jericho look like he could still go, because there is definitely a slowdown in him now.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah.
But it just makes me wonder, what's match 3 gonna be?
It's probably a cage of some kind.
I mean, it better be like a what did they use? Raven's Playground or something like that. Remember, or Ambrose Asylum.
Yeah.
When they used to put the cage, but they'd have all the weapons like tied up on the walls. That's what they need. You know what? Barbed wire rope match.
Punjabi prison match.
Kennel from hell. A Johnny Gargano on a pole match.
Inferno match.
Actually, I'd be okay with that. I think these two trying to set each other on fire would actually be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next up. Oh, the Young Bucks versus Cajun Cope is confirmed for All In. So the Young Bucks are going to get a win.
And it can't have, and it's going back to that match with Jericho. It can't be the one where the little sparklers went. It can't be that.
I'd be okay with an explosions match. Yeah. Jericho came out to Judas Priest instead of to Judas.
Okay.
Jericho used some pocket sand, so he threw sand in his eyes. He also used the mist at one point. He used red mist. Ciampa having to crawl through tacks to get to the ropes for a break was creative, except when he got to the ropes, Aubrey said it's no holds barred. It's no rope break. And you could see Ciampa go, "What?" And then after he did, he grabbed Jericho's baseball bat, his Painmaker baseball bat from the corner, and hit Jericho across the back of the leg. And you literally saw Jericho go, "What the fuck?"
I gotta find this match somehow.
The drill bit was clearly rounded, so it wouldn't cause much damage.
All right.
Boo.
So
Chris Jericho dropped the barbed wire mirror onto Ciampa the opposite direction. Mark Davis versus El Idolo. Who do you want to guess on?
How you know?
I was supposed to say how you know when you say El Idolo, and I go, how you know? Yes, Andrade El Idolo, after taking pictures with more OnlyFans stars, picks up the win in a good match.
He won a title, right? Because
he won the national championship. So now he can shut up about wanting to win the world title.
No, he still want that world title.
They say that he had a fun entrance. I don't remember seeing the entrance.
How you know?
Tekla versus Willow Nightingale for the Women's World Championship, Tino.
I'm going with my Willow. It's got to be my Willow, man. Come on, she had to give up her TBS title. She was hurt. Tekla's not really been doing it for me as a champion. And I think Willow versus CEO at the pay-per-view will be where it's at. So I'm going to say Willow.
The Toxic Spider grew more frustrated each time she failed to put Willow away. Sky Blue saved Tekla from being pinned, and momentary distraction allowed the champion to hit a spear. Willow avoided the stomp that followed and used a backslide to score the win and become the new world champion. This was a good finish to a great match.
Yes.
It was almost a schoolgirl finish.
Hey, I'll take it.
But Willow had a bandage on her ear after taking the microphone to the head on Wednesday. And of all things, Tekla used Britt Baker's lockjaw at one point.
What?
Yeah, and then to finish the night, sorry, I didn't even mean the pun there. Kenny Omega versus Kevin Knight for the World Championship.
Yeah, Omega.
And I just want to show you the picture here of this, because it looks like Kevin Knight heard what I just said when you see this. It's like he giving me side eye.
He's like, motherfucker, that ain't funny.
He's like, that shit ain't right, man. That shit ain't right. So the match was given an A-.
Of course. Omega.
So Knight tried a few dirty tactics, but the one-wing angel put him down for the 3 count. Death Riders attacked Omega as soon as it was over, but Ospreay came out to defend him.
Okay.
He chased most of them off, but Moxley wanted to get into his head. He handed Will a plastic bag and told him to finish the job.
Why are we always trying to murder people on TV?
Yep. Yeah, that's a good question. He looked like he was considering it, but he ended up tearing it up and then decking Moxley to knock him out of the ring. He fought off the rest of the Death Riders while Omega tried to recover. He and Ospreay shook hands, but a moment later, Omega grabbed him, hit the one-winged angel to close the show, and the crowd booed.
Wait, so he hit the one-winged angel
on Ospreay.
So he's going to be the heel going in? Makes sense. Like, they know they're going to cheer. They're in the UK. They're in London, so they're going to cheer. So they don't want to have babyface and babyface.
Exactly.
Smart.
Exactly.
That's smart.
But that means Ospreay's the only babyface in that because now all the Death Riders are coming at him. So it's going to be Kenny, and it's going to be, like I already said, we might even get where Tony Khan says everybody else is banned from ringside. But even if we get that, after the match is over, Will Ospreay is getting beat down by the Death Riders now. And Moxley's going to try to murder him. He's going to grab that plastic bag. You know, like he uses the Greco-Roman plastic bag hold.
Oh, just stupid.
You know, I did that whole thing and I didn't change it to the right banner.
No worries. I knew what you meant.
But we will put up the right one for this, Tino. It is to close out our show. Does anybody in the audience want to write down what we actually say and how we do on this? Because I did not give everybody their own slot for this one, Tino. So I only wrote SummerSlam predictions. And if I had to guess on ESPN night one, your show opener. Your show opener is probably going to be the Usos and Fatu versus Keys, Knight, and Solo.
Okay.
So, all right. Are you writing it down?
Yeah, so Usos and Fatu
versus Keys, Knight, and Solo. And I'll let you go first on this one, and we'll rotate back and forth. How about that?
All right. So let's see. That's one. Now I need to put Raw.
I assume this is going to be not only night one, but it's going to be the show opener.
You know. So I say it's going to be Keys, Knight, and Solo because I think Fatu's going to have enough of the Usos trying to tell him what to do.
Punk ass Jay.
Yep. So
I mean, he's cool with Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's cool with Jimmy. He just don't like that punk ass Jay.
All right.
I want a shirt that says punk ass Jay.
Anyway, pick your pick, bitch.
I am going to go with the Usos and Fatu here, specifically because I think that the other three aren't going to be able to get along the entire match.
Okay.
All right. Now here comes the interesting thing. Do we think that the second match on ESPN is going to be Fatal Influence versus Nikki, Brie, and Paige, or do we think it's going to be Liv versus Io? That one's for the Women's World Championship.
I can't see them putting the Women's Championship on unless they're going to start on, like, they, you know what I'm saying? They start on the pre-show and then it bleeds into the main show. You know what I mean?
Well, they haven't done that yet.
So I don't think so. I would say that Nikki and the Bellas will be next.
So you're saying that one's next?
Yeah.
So either way, though, I think we're going to get two women's matches in a row unless they start with Io and Liv.
So Bellas and Paige versus Toxic, right?
Fatal Influence.
Oh, I keep saying Toxic Attraction. That's what it used to be.
So I go first on this one.
Yeah,
I'm going Fatal Influence because they are three women that have worked together for months and really need the rub. And because it's not a title match, I think they take this, and I think this is where we start to see the dissension between the Bellas and Paige.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. I think that Fatal wins, and because they win, the Bellas get mad at Paige. I was going to say the same thing. All right, cool. So we agree on that one.
Okay. All right. Now, I have to say, I do think that it is going to be Liv and Io are the first match on the actual PLE side of it.
I can see. Okay, so
but could it be Gunther versus Aldis?
I think they want to start it like with a bang. I think Liv and I think the Liv versus Io match will be a better starter.
Well, I mean, that's why I think that could actually be the very first match on the entire night.
That's what I'm saying. I think I don't think it's going to be Gunther and
well, but my question is, do you think that Liv versus Io could go on even before Fatu and Usos and actually open the night totally? Because you either want to be first or last.
I don't see them putting it on the. I don't see them putting it on the pre-show. I see it being the first match of the actual pay-per-view.
Okay, it's your go. Who you got for this one? Oh, and in the audience, folks, if you want to go ahead and make yours. Yeah. Terrence wants that shirt too. He wants the Punk Ass J shirt.
Honestly,
no, lie to me.
I think Liv's going to keep that belt because I think, like I said, we still hadn't had what's her name come back yet. I think
Vaquer.
Yeah.
But what if Vaquer comes out, clocks Liv while they're distracted because Raquel's trying to distract the referee or something, and then Io scores the victory because of it.
I think,
and that allows Liv to get away from the title and have matches against Stephanie Vaquer.
I think they're still going to turn on Liv, but I think when she wins the title, I think they're going to jump her because of the whole WrestleMania thing, right? I think Liv's going to win. So you say Io?
So what really irritates me is this is going to be the very first title match that Liv's had since winning the belt. And it's only going to be her second match, I think.
And the reason why I think she's going to keep it because Roxanne still owes her for knocking her out of the Battle Royal. So I think that's what's going to Liv having this damn belt is going to be the downfall of the Judgment Day. I think it's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go with Io.
You go with Io.
But this could be where we start seeing, although if we get it with the Fatal Influence versus Nikki Paige and Brie, I don't know if we're going to get two matches in a row. Although
it might not be the same night, but I'm saying eventually that's what's going to be the downfall.
And it'd be a good way to start Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So right after it. All right, Gunther versus Aldis, and I guess I get to choose this one. I can't go against Nick Aldis here, even though I think Gunther should choke him out.
I agree with you. Like I said, it's as I always say, the 5-year-old me. Gunther's been getting the best of Aldis all these weeks, and I think Gunther's gonna get his comeuppance at SummerSlam.
Well, it makes me wonder if the comeuppance that Aldis gets is going to be the night before on SmackDown, like jumping him backstage and beating him down, and then making it so Gunther's injured. So if Gunther does lose the match at SummerSlam, there's at least a reason behind it, and he can stay strong because Aldis beat him down ahead of time.
And then where do we go from here too? Because on Friday we forgot to say that when Aldis signed that contract, part of that contract is he gave up his GM position. So now is he an active member of the roster? And then where do we go from there?
I think so. So I wonder if Gunther will allow him to have that position back if Aldis wins. Be interesting. But otherwise, I would say I would almost picture that Aldis would become a free agent and he would go to Raw, just because like you don't want the former general manager of SmackDown wrestling on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. And Raw is obviously the longer show as well. So, and then you get more of Aldis Pierce anger shit.
Yeah. All right. So we both said Aldis.
Anytime you have those kinds of matches, you gotta figure out some fluky way for the underdog to win, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And as much as I want Hell in a Cell to be the main event, the title's going to go on last. So Hell in a Cell, Tino, you get to call this one first.
Oh,
First of all, how long do you think the match goes? Is it sub 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes? Because I don't think it goes over 15.
I think it's going to go 10 to 15. I don't think it's going to be a squash like WrestleMania. I think they're actually going to have, because I think it was a squash WrestleMania, and then their second match
was like 8 minutes.
Was short. So I think this one's going to go a little longer, especially if it's going to be Brock's last match. So they're going to have to make Oba work for it, I think, a little more.
I don't think this is going to be Brock's last match. I think Brock is having fun. I could be wrong, but he looks like he's having fun out there. And, you know, when Brock's having fun, he keeps coming back.
But then that defeats the whole fucking purpose.
I still say Oba wins. And then Brock gets to just be the special attraction when he wants to. You know, I could see him getting in, you know, coming down and just beating up Trick Williams so that he can make Trick Williams. I could see him coming down to make Tony D'Angelo.
Okay.
And then finally get beaten by Gunther when he finally says, "Okay, I'm done." But you know, Brock's my age. He's 48. So I mean, like, there are guys out there still in their, in their 50s, like R-Truth in their 50s, sitting there doing this shit. So
Jericho.
What's that?
Jericho.
But Jericho slowed down.
Yeah.
R-Truth is still going with the cruiserweight.
Oh, but he's fucking dude.
He still does that drop leg thing where he splits the legs.
He's still in phenomenal condition. He's still got abs and shit.
And he smokes.
I didn't know he smokes.
Yeah, he's a cigarette smoker.
Well, you know that.
I've seen him do it.
Oh.
So he might not anymore, but he was a cigarette smoker for years. That's why he's got that raspiness in his voice. Unlike me, where I just lose it while I'm at Comic-Con. So all right, we're both saying Oba.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to, right? Punk and Cody.
Okay.
And I guess I get to call this one first.
Yep.
I almost feel like this is going to be the overbooked match of the night, where people start coming down and interrupting and getting in the way and doing all this weird shit. But I'm hoping it's just the two of them. And I see Punk getting the better of Cody.
Me too, which turns Cody heel. I'm going to put that on there too.
That's interesting, because right now, well, they're both playing the heel right now.
Are they though?
They're both talking.
I know Cody is borderline. I don't think Punk is. I think Punk's just being Punk.
Yeah. I'm okay with the prediction on that one. I'm not sure, because I don't it's one of those situations where I don't know if it'll be that night.
I think
I could see the match ending, Punk on the turnbuckle holding the belt up, and Cody sitting outside at the stage ramp, and they're looking at him, and he's just looking down on himself, like, because he could have taken that moment to turn heel, and he didn't during the match, and that's what cost him the match.
But they did that, but they've already done that. So
you keep talking about how they recycle shit.
I think this is the night. I think Saturday's the night.
Okay. All right. Sunday night. Now, looking at this, all right, out of these matches, 4 of them could be on the ESPN. Although I would actually start the night with the women's ladder match. So I think ESPN gets the women's ladder match to get everybody excited. And I would say Friday, there's still one more person that gets in. I wonder who it'll be.
Who's in it? I wouldn't be surprised if it's Blake Monroe.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. I also wouldn't be surprised if they just decide we're not going to go Liv versus Stephanie Vaquer, and they put Stephanie Vaquer in there.
I wouldn't be mad if they did Candice LeRae.
So, all right. So, which of these matches do you? So, we think that opens the show.
That opens the show. So, who's the women so far?
So, the women so far are Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Chelsea Green, with one spot to go.
I'm gonna give you my dark horse, and then I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win.
Who do you think the extra person is? Because you know what I would do to really throw it the fuck off? I would let Kendall Gray enter it.
JC Jane.
Well, but she's on the day one card.
Oh, damn it! No.
Julia. Kiana James lost, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
Julia,
because I want.
Do they do a last chance match where it's a fatal 4-way between all four of the losers?
I think that's what they'll do, but I don't see them putting. You know, I always talk about why are you having this match when I know that person's not going to win. Like in this match now, there's a chance. You know who would be a surprise entrance if they did it? Lash Legend.
She's Nia Jax's partner, right?
Yep. And Trick's wife. So she might not win it, but I think she's believable.
The one thing this match is really missing so far is a high flyer. You know, it'd be really interesting is if they decided to do something like let Bayley have a chance at it. Again, I know she's on Raw.
That and there's already rumors she's on her way out. So no, you know what I'm saying? You know there's no way she's going to do it, right? I want somebody who might possibly. So I wouldn't be surprised if they put a old girl in there. What's her name? I said it before.
I mean, if you put Lash Legend in there, then all of a sudden it really looks like Chelsea Green has no chance of winning.
Not Lash Legend, the other chick I said before that, the new one, the blonde that was fucking with Tiffany and pushed Candice around.
Oh, Blake Monroe.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a good introduction to her, but it would mean she'd have to win a match on Friday to get into it. So kind of like I wish it was just a surprise, you know?
Yeah. So, like I said, who do I want to win? In my heart of hearts, I want Chelsea to win.
Well, our heart of hearts, we both want Chelsea.
But my reality is because these two already have some background, I got a feeling they're going to give it to Charlotte. What if they brought Alexa back? But she's probably still out. Damn it, with that arm.
Well, it's been 2 weeks. I'm okay with her coming back. I think that. What's that?
She ain't gonna win it. And if she comes back,
no, but she's the one that you throw around like a rag doll.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be someone like Julia ends up getting in.
So who wins?
I'm going to go with Chelsea.
Ladder match.
Because I'm really, truly hoping that Unreal was meant to piss everybody off, that no one thinks that she can be there. And since it's just interim, go ahead and give it to her.
I agree.
And then have Rhea squash her or something if you really don't think that she's capable.
All right. I wouldn't even have Rhea squash her. I would, keep it going. Keep that. Well, I'm not saying beat Rhea, but I'm not saying don't let her squash her. Make it a good.
So I see Chelsea being the type that if she wins that belt, she is going to covet that thing like she is holding the Ark of the Covenant in her hands, and she's going to be all about like, no one's ever taking this from me. And even when she loses the unification title, I still see her like running off with her belt.
Yeah.
And being like, no, this is mine. I think that the next ESPN match is going to be Trick versus Baron Corbin. Now, could be wrong. Could be Penta versus Gable. Could be Finn versus Sammy.
Yeah.
But it could also be Danhausen versus Dom.
It'll probably be Danhausen versus Dom.
See, I think that opens the PLE. Like everything else is on ESPN, the app, blah, blah, blah. That's when you start with Danhausen. But you might be right because kids love it. So all right. I get to pick this. Are we doing Danhausen versus Dom?
All right, that's what we're doing. Okay. I'm
going Dom wins.
Me too. Because
I'm saying he breaks the curse.
I think because and I think they need to put a fire back under Dom. I think Dom has lost a little bit of it, especially being stuck in this comedy act with Danhausen. While it's entertaining, he's not as serious. He's not as strong. You know what I mean? It's not like
last year we were sitting there saying that Dom could go after the world title.
Yes, and now I don't think so.
Not even close.
So they need to put that fire back under him, and I think that'll start with this. And I think he needs to fucking beat the brakes off of Danhausen. Serious.
If Dom ends up losing this match, it's from some sneaky ass AAA shit because they try to get more of those guys on TV so that people know who they are.
And even in losing, then he needs to fuck some shit up to bring that heat back.
I agree. Unless they're going to turn him babyface. So we're both saying Dom. Okay. Yeah. Let's go Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin now. This is for the United States Championship.
Mm-hmm. So this is a hard one for me because Trick hadn't had it that long, but he has defended it. I can see if they're starting the program with him and Baron, then I can see Baron beating him for this title.
It's weird because do we think that Baron's the babyface here? Or do we think this is really the start of just moving Trick into babyfacedom?
Trick again. And even I think you saw it he said it himself on Real. He's not a baby. He's not a heel.
Oh, he's a baby.
Trick's
he's a baby.
And Baron coming back, Baron is going to be a heel. Baron's better as the heel.
Oh, totally.
So I think Baron's the heel. I think Trick is hot enough. They might, tease to see how him going up. He'll probably hang around Baron a couple more times for this title, but I think Trick's getting ready to get elevated. And I think Baron is one of those they bring in to work with the younger talents, to work with the Ricky Saints.
You know what I would do with Baron is I'd have him come in, I'd have him beat Trick, but then maybe 2 PLEs later he loses back to Trick, so Trick gets his win back. But then I would actually move him over to Raw, and I'd have him become the heavy over for the Vision, where he's watching Braun Breaker's back, and they get the dogs back together.
I think
the Wolf Dogs.
Yeah, but I think the Baron, what's his name? Bronson. I think Bronson's on his way back.
Well, I know, but like I like the idea of like Baron Corbin being the one that's specifically watching Braun Breaker's back.
Yeah, but don't come at the Wolf Dogs because you don't want to be comedy either. You know what I mean?
Well, and I really don't want Braun Breaker to be a tag team. I need that kid to be elevated.
Let's kind of set him off from the. You could break him off from the Vision and kind of elevate him, and like you said, Baron can be his heavy, kind of like a Diesel
and Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you could even do that in the Vision. You know, like if Bronson's coming back, I would say Bronson until he shows that he's not going to get hurt like quickly again, probably needs to be in a tag team. So I could see him being the one that tags with like. No, I think Austin because unfortunately I think out of all of them, Austin's the one that you have to keep doing all these things to try to keep him in the spotlight, whereas Logan Paul is just there. Like I swear, if they said we're putting money in the bank on Logan Paul this year and he's going to win the title before Survivor Series, I'd be all for it, Tino, because then he could even lose it by Royal Rumble, and you don't have to worry about it. That way, you go into the WrestleMania season with all this other stuff, or you have this Logan Paul that keeps showing up week after week because he's a full-time competitor now. You have, and sorry, we just hit the 2-hour mark, but you know we got 3 more matches to do after this. But with Logan Paul, if you have him go into the Royal Rumble as the world champion, you could have him lose there to whoever you want in the main event at WrestleMania. But you're going to get more eyes on the product because people are going to be like, "Holy shit, Logan Paul's the world champion in WWE."
Yeah,
you're going to get those numbers because how many viewers does he have on his YouTube channel?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
True. So, Trick or Baron?
That's a good question. You like Baron, huh?
Yep.
I don't. I like Trick.
All right.
We've
agreed on a few, so it's good to.
I hope Baron actually takes Lil Yachty out of WWE. But unfortunately, that costs him the match. All right. Penta versus Gable.
Gable. Because Penta's had it long enough.
I agree. I think that now he's had it since before WrestleMania. He made it through the ladder match at Mania. And won't it be a great moment for Gable in like the heartland of America, Minnesota? You know,
he's from there too, isn't he? He's from
Ohio.
I don't think Gable's being there. They're saying he's from there too. They're saying he's at Minneapolis.
I mean, if he's from Minneapolis, that's great. Like I just don't know.
Chad Gable. Gable.
I mean, if you just pull up Chad Gable, it should say from
Indianapolis, Minnesota, baby.
Okay, then that's a given. That's a given because, and you know what? I hope they let him have another match like he did against El Grande Americano. In fact, I want to see El Grande Americano in the stands cheering for the match.
So you're saying Gable too?
Yeah, there's.
All right.
Triple H knows what he's got with Gable now. He didn't know what he had with him back when it was going against Gunther, and they only gave him the count out victory. All right. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. Winner becomes the number 1 contender. You're going Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. So that's Finn and Sami. Who are you going? I know who you're going for. You're going Sami.
Well, I didn't think Finn was going to win this match to get into this.
They're putting the rocket on his ass.
Sami obviously has more story with both of the other competitors. But and the way that all of the writers and pundits and everything else have been talking is that Sami got to the high point of his career now. He's not going to get back. I'm going to go Sami, but I think it's Sami has like a 10% chance of really winning this match. Because this is going to be the match where after he loses, he completely snaps.
Oh yeah. All right.
So you know what? Change it. I'm going Finn.
You going Finn?
I'm going Finn, and Sami snaps.
Okay. I agree with that. He snaps.
Finn might get a vacation after this match.
Seth versus Roman.
This is a really tough one. because you have to contemplate whether or not Roman is going away for a while. You also have to take into account that Roman has never beaten Seth one-on-one.
So Roman, I'm taking into account, like you said, Roman said he's going to be here through the summer. I think that was very important wording. But yeah, he's never beat Seth. So do we have him? And this is why he beat Seth. I still think Oba's coming out. They take that belt. That way Roman here's here during the summer, but he doesn't have that belt anymore.
I would love it. I mean, I think it's something that we would all love. I don't think they can do that right now without advertising it.
Bitch, they're kings of that. Did they advertise Edge winning that fucking world championship when he did?
Well, hold on.
Now,
hold on a second there, dude.
Did they?
Hold on, dude.
F running down and cashing in when he did. They're king of swerves.
Now, hold on a second there, dude.
Whatever.
Let me. Remember, this is a new brand, and it's TKO.
So they want to be predictable.
Well, I don't know if it's about predictability, but I think it's about we want to announce when someone like Oba has that chance because that's going to sell seats. And it sucks because again, it's one of those things you have to think about when they're dealing with it. Like I could see,
I think they're missing, but that's also part of shock value. I see what you're saying.
But what if the night after Mania, Oba versus Roman? Because Roman wins, holds that belt up high, and then you hear the music. And then he just stands at the ramp and he just points at him. And then suddenly Netflix gets, better numbers than they've had in months.
It's not the same, but that's not the same.
But that would be your Sports Center moment, right?
Yeah, this is why I don't really care for WWE sometimes, because it's not that shot, it's not that surprise. I'm like, holy fuck, what just happened, right? I guess.
I mean, we got that when Sami Zayn won the title in Saudi, right? We did. We got the shock value, and WWE saw the bump in ESPN sat there and said that it was the shocking moment of the night. Like it was on Sports Center.
I think my way could be on Sports Center too.
It could, but either way, I think that one's on Sports Center because if Roman holds up the belt and Oba's music hits and Oba says, "I want you," and then he storms through the entire bloodline because everyone tries to stop him from getting to the ring. I think you're right. Like when he finally gets to the ring, now he's been beaten up and everything. Not to mention, hell, he went through Hell in a Cell the night before, gets into the ring and sits there and says, like Hulk Hogan. Like, yeah, that's a big moment. But if he stands on that podium, on the entranceway and he points and he just goes like this for a couple of minutes, I mean, that crowd's going to eat it up, but then they're going to be like, we'll see you tomorrow night, folks.
Yeah. All right. So who you got winning?
Fuck.
Yeah, because we're over 2 hours. Who you got winning?
I think Roman holds on to it. He said he'll be here through the summer, not just through SummerSlam. So
you say Roman. I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Seth just to be different.
I like the idea of Seth still being the better wrestler of the two and winning that match. I like that because it means that there is a chink in the armor of the greatest WWE champion of all time.
Mm.
And you saw me quote their greatest. So, I got nothing else.
Me neither. I got So
why don't you tell everybody
you can catch me on. I am on Blue Sky. You can catch me on the Insta SC Tino. You can catch me on the TikTok. I am Tino R. Gray Music. You can catch us on Twitter. We're Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. We're here each and every week on the Pots and Pan Network. So please like, subscribe, give us thumbs up, buy our shit. Thanks to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song that we use for the first big chunk of our show. You still catch them on iTunes for 99 cents. 99.
Want to thank everybody for checking us out tonight. If you saw me in San Diego, I love you all, and just want to go ahead and say thank you for checking out the show. Obviously, you can find me on Instagram at both Rob Pochek and Rob Potsy Pochek. I'll try to be uploading massive amounts of photos here. I've been putting them on my story, but I've got, for the first time, I've taken, like, I looked like a tourist when I was out in San Diego. So, yeah, so Instagram, both of those names, just about everywhere else, Rob Potsy Pochek, like TikTok, and then Pochek on X or Twitter. Like he said, we're here each and every week. I'll be gone 1 week, 1 week coming up. It's the August 10th, I believe. I will not be here, Tino. I will be in Orlando. So as far as I know, my sister and brother-in-law will have me doing stuff down there, so I won't be able to do the show. So we'll be taking a week off. But after that, I don't think I've got anything else planned that's going to prevent me from doing Monday night shows. And folks, I just want to go ahead and say I posted something on Facebook last week because we're now getting a bunch of movies that everybody wants to go see and they want to talk about after they get done them. So I am talking to some people about bringing back Primitive Screwheads as a weekly YouTube show. And obviously, Tino will be invited anytime he wants to come on. But don't know the exact start date or what the format exactly will be. But most likely it'll be see one of the new movies out, and we'll talk about it within like a week of when it releases. We'll give, our heartfelt reviews on them. But, it'll be that Primitive Screwheads funniness that we used to have about 5 years ago when we did that shit. Well, it was about 5 years ago, right, Tino? Or was it even further? It was probably longer ago than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we only did a couple of them on YouTube. But yeah, so I'm talking to some people about possibly bringing that show back and making it either a Thursday or Friday night, which, means right after seeing the movies. So, so keep an eye out because I'm pretty excited about the idea of that. And otherwise, we love you. We always love doing this show. And sorry for going 2 hours and 12 minutes. That probably has something to do with me talking about San Diego Comic-Con for as long as I did.
And we knew that was going to happen. So we built in time for that.
Well, I almost came on early by myself to talk about the trip just so that you could come on and have your 2 hours. But folks, thank you so much. We will see you next week. As always, we're going to be taken out by the Motor City Machine Guns. Good night, everybody. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Ready? Motor City Machine Guns and Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino show.
Thanks for watching.
Monday night, it's time to go. Turn on the screen, let the good times shows. Wrestling life and who knows what. If it's cool or weird, they're talking it up. It's the Potsy and Tino show. Drop the facts and let opinions blow. Laughs, hot takes, and maybe a rant. Two best buds with the mic in a plan.